Hello everybody, I'm Danrvdtree2000, also known as Dan 2 times 15 on Xbox Live, and welcome to another WWE predictions video. And it's time to go back to Saudi Arabia for the WWE Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. And this is actually the first ever proper pay-per-view that's taking part in Saudi Arabia. Usually we have like a one-off special like Crown Jewel. We've had the Royal Crown Jewel. We've had the other, what was it? The Greatest Royal Rumble. We had Super Showdown. We've had many others like that in Saudi Arabia, but this is the first actual proper pay-per-view itself. Like Elimination Chamber usually takes place in the United States, but it's taking part in Saudi Arabia this year. I don't know if it's going to be as good, but there's going to be several matches that are going to be taking place in Saudi Arabia's Elimination Chamber. And for you guys that have never seen my predictions before, this is how it goes. As I'm wearing the perfect t-shirt, the Bloodline t-shirt here, to go with the Elimination Chamber, and I will make those predictions. And those predictions go like this. Who I think is going to win, which is WWE's own personal pick. This is their own, who I think they've picked to win. And who I want to win is my own personal opinion. There'll be a few more additions to my predictions as always. So with no further ado, let's go on to the first matchup. And we're back. For the first match, this rivalry between Rey Mysterio and The Miz has been going on for quite some time on Monday Night Raw, where Miz has been cheating and Rey Mysterio has been cheating, and Miz has been telling the truth again, like he always does, to get some heat. And that is, well, whenever people cheat, people cheer him on, and, well, usually it's quite interesting when good guys cheat. I mean, it's actually quite a bit interesting. I don't know why they got this rivalry going, but hey ho, it's gonna happen. This match is gonna happen. It's been building towards, by the looks of things, the Elimination Chamber, and this is the first match on the card, for what I've seen. And well, who do I think is gonna win? Who WWE have booked to win? I think Rey Mysterio. Who do I want? I also want Rey Mysterio. It's a very very good and easy choice to go for here. I think this will be a very interesting matchup. Will Dominic Mysterio get involved? Will Maurice get involved? We'll have to wait and see. It'll be a very interesting, maybe 5 minutes, 10-minute matchup. These two have had some history, so we'll find out what happens at Elimination Chamber. So on to the next match. And once again, welcome back. And I'd also like to say this next match is Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss again. But with all this, that's Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin taking on Drew McIntyre. I think we're leading towards Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin at WrestleMania. But we're getting these matches between Drew McIntyre and Madcap Moss first. So that I have this feeling that we're gonna see two black eyes, as Madcap Moss is clear to wrestle, even though he had a black eye last time I saw him on SmackDown. So yeah, this falls count anyway match between these two. McIntyre has been down in the mid-card position since losing the WWE Championship, but hey, he will eventually climb the ladder again. Maybe literally, who knows, he might even win a Money in the Bank. That would be cool. Because technically, didn't he... he had the Money in the Bank cash in against him at one point, when The Miz cashed in against him. So, swings and roundabouts, really. So I think it would be nice to see Drew McIntyre eventually win the Money in the Bank. But hey, this is not Money in the Bank. This is Elimination Chamber. Time to go on straight to my predictions here. It's very simple. There's going to be a hard-hitting matchup with weapons being used by McIntyre and Madcap Moss. Don't take anything away from Madcap Moss, because he's actually a pretty decent wrestler when it comes to inside that squared circle. So who do I think is going to win? Drew McIntyre. Who do I want to win? Pretty obvious, easy and obvious answer to this. Drew McIntyre. So yeah, I can't wait to see this match. It's most likely going to see Happy Corbin get involved because there's no disqualifications. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Wait and see at Elimination Chamber. So let's go on to the next match. Well, and the next match is the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos. As part of the Bloodline, they will be defending their Tag Team Championships against the Viking Raiders. This is going to be good because last time on SmackDown, I haven't seen this week's because I'm going to watch that in just a minute. The SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, will defend their titles against the Viking Raiders. Last time we saw them, as I was saying, they stole their headgear. So once I watch SmackDown in a minute, I'll find out if they ever got their gear back and what happens in between last night's SmackDown and now. So tonight, again at Elimination Chamber. Well, I can't wait for this match. It's going to be a big, brutal matchup. So this is going to be very interesting indeed. Will the Usos be able to retain and go to WrestleMania as the SmackDown Tag Team Champions? Well, here are my predictions for this matchup. Yes, I do. So therefore, who do I think is going to win this matchup? The Usos! But who do I want to win? The Viking Raiders, of course. This big barn burner for sure. Two beefy boys, two lots of beefy boys going at it in the middle of the ring in Saudi Arabia. Oh man, they are going to be one lucky crowd to see this matchup. I've been waiting for it for quite some time, since the Viking Raiders became the number one contenders. So yeah, I can't wait to see these two tag teams go at it. So on to the next match though. Action. Wow, this is interesting. Very interesting, as the next matchup is a 6-woman Elimination Chamber matchup where the winner will face the Raw Women's Champion at WrestleMania. Now, whether that Raw Women's Champion will be Lita or Becky Lynch is well, we'll find out later on in the night. But I have no doubt that this matchup is going to be one hell of an Elimination Chamber matchup. This may be, the 5th or 6th Women's Elimination Chamber matchup. And the following people are on the screen right now, and I'll go through them. We got Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Doudrop, Nikki ASH, and now, since she's ready, focused and ready to go, because she's gone through all the therapy sessions, so is Alexa Bliss. Now, what version of Alexa Bliss will we see at Elimination Chamber? I have a feeling, sneaking suspicion, it's not going to be the version that we are used to. It's still going to be the playful Alexa Bliss that we have seen in the past with the Evil is Mine, but a little bit less down of the Evil is Mine. Because Liddy's now been taken out of the picture and she's feeling better. However, who do I think is going to win? And I'll go through the order of eliminations and the entire thing myself. I think it will be Alexa Bliss. And however, who do I want to win? Now, I want Alexa Bliss to win, but realistically, I also would like to see Rhea Ripley win, It'll be great to see her go one-on-one with Becky Lynch at WrestleMania, and maybe even Liv Morgan. But yeah, it's gonna be Alexa. That's no doubt about that. As for the order of eliminations and order of the entry, well, we know that Bianca Belair is going to come out last. She won that big matchup on Raw, that gauntlet match on Raw. Who will come out? So she will be coming out last. So I'm going to do now my predictions from the first two women to start the match to number 3, 4, 5. So the perfect two to start the match would be, and I feel like this is the way it's going to go, would be Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH. And to be honest, I feel like this one is not going to have a quick elimination after elimination after elimination. It's going to build up until all 6 women are in the ring until the eliminations can occur. So this is my predictions from the person to come in next, and as number 3, Liv Morgan. I say Liv Morgan because it's a perfect position just so that they can get in between there. Next out, number 4 would be Doudrop. That's perfect. Then have Alexa Bliss, and then of course Bianca Belair. Order for eliminations, and who eliminates who? Rhea eliminates Nikki. And I feel like that she will be the first to go, whether Liv Morgan's in the ring or not. Up next to be eliminated, I feel like everyone will gang up on Doudrop, and she will be eliminated. Up next to be eliminated would either be Liv Morgan or Rhea Ripley. Or maybe not. Don't know, it depends. Because I think it will be down between Bianca Belair and Alexa Bliss. And then Alexa Bliss will then pin Bianca Belair to win the Elimination Chamber and go to WrestleMania to face either Lita or Becky Lynch. That is my predictions for that matchup. It's a very big one, so we shall see what happens at Elimination Chamber, and I'll go on to the next match. And the next match is technically a spoiler for myself for SmackDown, because this is probably a match that was made on SmackDown, but I have to get tonight's Elimination Chamber predictions out the way before it's made, and it's complicated. So I don't particularly care about this, spoiling this for myself. But anyway, for you guys that have seen SmackDown, you would have seen it, and something happened, which I don't know because I haven't watched it yet. But anyway, it resulted to this happening, where Ronda Rousey, I know she saved Naomi last week and everything, but Ronda Rousey will be teaming up with Naomi because remember, at WrestleMania, it will be Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Makes sense, because I don't really want to see Becky versus Ronda. We have Becky versus the winner of the Elimination Chamber. So that's fine. But we have this match to focus on first. We're also most likely going to see Naomi versus Sonya Deville at WrestleMania, so that's also a good thing. So here we'll go with my predictions. But as I have read in the brackets, Ronda Rousey must compete with one arm tied behind her back. How stupid and pathetic does that sound? I just wish it was a normal tag team match, to be honest. Why does she have to do that? I don't know. Maybe something that happened on SmackDown that I'm not aware of, but it still sounds pretty stupid and dumb. So who do I think is going to win? Naomi and Ronda Rousey. Who do I want to win? Naomi and Ronda Rousey, because it would all make sense. It wouldn't make sense for Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville to pick up the victory here. Although it would be, because it would kind of be, so therefore have the opposite happen at WrestleMania. I don't know. It's very interesting to see the attires for all the women, including for this matchup. But considering that there are 3 women's matches, it's a big change since the first Saudi Arabia show that we saw WWE take part in. So, we went from 1 women's match to 2 to 3 now. It's like it's treated like a real pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia. I love it. But going on to the next match. Well, and the next match is for the Raw Women's Championship. As the Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch is defending her championship against Lita. Another awesome, crazy matchup that will be up with some of the greatest matches of all time, because it's a clash of past versus present. Challenger from the past, champion of the present. This is gonna be great, and unfortunately it's not gonna go the way that we think, because there's no way we're gonna see Lita versus Alexa Bliss, or Lita versus Doudrop, or Lita versus Bianca Belair, or Lita versus Liv Morgan, or Lita versus Rhea Ripley, or Lita versus Nikki ASH, etc, etc. We are going to see Becky Lynch versus the winner of the Elimination Chamber match that I've made a prediction for earlier on. So yeah, it doesn't matter how good of a match this will be. This does come this close down to the wire too. There'll be finishes galore. But who do I think is going to win? Becky Lynch. But who do I want to win? I actually want Lita to win, because I really would love to see her to go to WrestleMania. That would be an awesome victory. That would be really great. But dreams will have to be crushed by Becky. And unfortunately, she's going to walk out with Elimination Chamber as the Raw Women's Champion. Very interesting to see what attires they're going to be wearing to go with their, what we've been seeing over the last couple of years. So yeah, it'll be very good to see that. So very good match, by the way, it will be. But unfortunately, Becky Lynch is going to go to WrestleMania to face the winner of the Elimination Chamber winner. It's pretty simple. But yeah, let's go on to the last 2 matches, I believe. Well, these predictions are going to be just as quick as the match itself. We've been waiting, since 2020 for this, maybe late 2019, but 2020. This match was supposed to happen at WrestleMania back in 2020, but because of the pandemic and with The Miz getting sick and Roman Reigns thinking, well, if The Miz can get sick, then I don't want to be sick, because I'm going to be facing Goldberg for the Universal Championship. I don't want to get sick just in case I miss WrestleMania. And guess what? He deliberately went home, stayed at home, safe, because he was the top dog. He was the #1 guy, and he still is. But the script has flipped as he is walking into one of the main events of the Elimination Chamber as the champion. I know it's not WrestleMania, but Goldberg versus Roman Reigns was supposed to happen a long time ago, but long story short, and I can tell you the exact order of how it went. At WrestleMania, due to Roman Reigns protecting himself and his family by isolating from COVID, even though he didn't have it, he didn't want to get it, therefore he forfeited his chance to face Goldberg for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania, which means they'd have to pick the next big tough guy, which was Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman then went to WrestleMania to win the Universal Championship. The Universal Championship, which then led to, I think, SummerSlam, where The Fiend challenged for the championship. The Fiend challenged Braun Strowman for the championship and won the Universal Championship off of Braun Strowman, I think, as he went into SummerSlam as the Universal Champion. And and then it got turned into a triple threat match because Roman Reigns returned with Paul Heyman becoming the tribal chief, becoming the head of the table, and winning the Universal Championship, and then defeating guys like Jey Uso, defeating guys like Edge, Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, Finn Balor. You name him, he smashed them. Starting with, with Braun Strowman and The Fiend. You name him, he smashed them. And it's all led back to go full circle. Now he's finally going one-on-one with Goldberg. And he said, and I quote, "I'm gonna Goldberg." So he has not lost a match when it comes to a pay-per-view match, at least. He is undefeated while he's been undefeated while he's been Universal Champion. Just like when Goldberg was undefeated in WCW. So I know that Goldberg now has what it takes to defeat the Universal Champion in Saudi Arabia. Just like when he defeated the Fiend for it. And became Universal Champion. But that was it. This is going to be a 5-minute, 2-minute matchup where we're going to see a spear. And that's it. 1, 2, 3. Not from Goldberg. No. Think about it. Goldberg challenged Bobby Lashley. Got beat by Bobby Lashley. And who else has beaten Bobby Lashley? Roman Reigns. So what makes you, if you can lose to the guy who has beaten Bobby Lashley as well, then you're in for it bad, Goldberg. There's no way you're going to defeat the tribal chief. There's no way you're going to defeat the head of the table. There's no way you're going to defeat Universal Champion Roman Reigns. So I'm going both ways here. I think it's going to be Roman, and I want it to be Roman. So I'm going to go on to the next and final matchup, the main event of the evening. But speaking of Bobby Lashley, who's now the 2-time WWE Champion, and thanks to Roman Reigns, who helped him win that championship, well, at the Royal Rumble, Brock Lesnar is no longer the WWE Champion, but he was one of the first 5 competitors to enter the Elimination Chamber because Adam Pearce has forced Bobby Lashley to defend his WWE Championship inside the Elimination Chamber. And he said, well, you're in, Brock, congratulations. So I don't care who else is in this Elimination Chamber matchup. We may, because Brock Lesnar also won the Royal Rumble matchup, and he gets to decide which belt he wants to go after. He decided that, hey, forget about Bobby, you're forgiven, what happened, I'm going after Roman. Because he screwed me out of the championship. He didn't necessarily have to be here, but he's here anyway. He wanted a title versus title. He wanted a title for title. So, realistically, this is all WWE, and this is what I think is going to happen. Screw what everyone else is going to happen. We got a new WWE champion, and his name is Brock Lesnar, who will then go on to WrestleMania, defend his WWE Championship against the Universal Champion Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship, and there will be title for title. That would be an awesome matchup. However, who do I want to win? And like I said, I think it's going to be Brock, definitely. But who do I want to win? I actually Riddle, it'll be fun to see. Seth, it'll be fun to see. Austin Theory, very fun to see. And AJ Styles, definitely fun to see. But I actually want Bobby Lashley to retain. He's only just got the championship back, and I want to see 2 championship matches at WrestleMania compared to 1 big title versus title. As big as I would sell that would be, but it will also be boring knowing that there will be no other big major championship matches on the line compared to the minor Intercontinental Championship or United States and Tag Team and Women's. That I want to see perhaps in part, maybe, remember there's 2 parts, there's part 1 and part 2. So, day 1, day 2. I want day 1 to have a World Heavyweight Championship match, and I want day 2 to have a World Heavyweight Championship match too. So, my theory of the Elimination Chamber when it comes, I'm going to have order of eliminations and my own spin on it and how I think it's going to turn out. As I said before, I think it's going to be Brock, but I want it to be Bobby. But here are in full order of who I think is going to be first and second, and etc. etc. So here goes. I think that it will be Brock Lesnar that starts off the Elimination Chamber, and I have to pick an unlucky son of a bitch to go in the ring with him. If I had to pick one for it to make sense, Austin Theory. He beats the living shit out of Austin Theory, and before the count, he does it within the first minute. Before the countdown even begins. He takes him to Suplex City, hits him with an F5, 1, 2, 3, he is out of there! Now he's waiting for, he wants, Bobby Lashley as the champion will come out last. It makes sense for him to come out last. I will bring him in a minute. But up next, who comes into the ring? Riddle. Riddle is next, but he takes it to Brock. It doesn't get eliminated straight away. In fact, I'm gonna bring in AJ Styles after that. And those two will somehow miraculously get rid of Brock for the time being. He's on the outside. Then AJ and Riddle can, because they have some history with each other, they can go at it for a while. Then in comes Seth freaking Rollins. He gets in there. He takes out Styles with a knee. He takes out Riddle. But Brock Lesnar gets back in the ring and he goes into full beast mode. There's a German suplex to Riddle. There's a German suplex to Seth. There's a German suplex to AJ Styles. They all get up. He does that shoulder tackle to Riddle, 3 of them. He takes out AJ Styles with the shoulder tackles and takes out Seth Rollins, but then goes to do the 3rd one, but then he reverses it and takes Lesnar down into the corner. As the visionary, he comes up with an idea and says, "Look, we need to take out Brock before anyone else does it." Riddle is not too sure about the plan, so he just attacks Rollins, but Rollins gets rid of Riddle for the time being. And of course, Bobby Lashley then enters the match after they've taken out Brock for a bit. But then Bobby Lashley goes all full on beast mode himself. He takes out AJ Styles with maybe a spear after he dodges the phenomenal forearm. He doesn't go for the cover because, it's interrupted by Riddle because Riddle doesn't know the fucking rules. But Lashley suplexes Riddle and he's out of it. Brock is on the outside getting back up as, Seth Rollins, as I'm saying, so Riddle, he has been taken out by Bobby Lashley. So Seth, so is AJ Styles at this point. No eliminations except from Austin Theory. Now Brock Lesnar's getting back up on the outside when Bobby sees his opportunity. Brock Lesnar, he goes on the outside, does that. He takes out Brock, does the whole whacking him against the ring post, or maybe even better, the steel cage with, he puts him on his shoulders. Brock gets up again, he does this little bull, look when he goes, "Come on, let's go!" Spears him through the goddamn pod. Brock Lesnar is out for the time being, meaning that, and so is Bobby Lashley. In the ring, I'm gonna have to say, unfortunately, the original bro, he goes to do his floating bro onto AJ Styles, but then AJ Styles moves out of the way, and then, well, then Riddle gets curb stomped from Seth Rollins. 1, 2, 3. Riddle is gone. Then Seth Rollins is being put in the calf crusher. Does not tap out. Gets out of it. And turns it around. Goes for a stomp. Gets and hit with reversed into the with the Styles clash, but they're all out. Lashley's stirring. He gets back into the ring. He spears both. He ends up spearing Seth. He ends up spearing AJ. Pins AJ. 1, 2, 3. It's now come down to 3. Brock Lesnar, who is out. Rollins is like in the corner. Finds out he's in a sticky situation because he's with Lashley. And Seth is like, let's get rid of Brock. Let's get Brock into the ring. Lashley's like, he's in the corner. He's like, you're next. But then he goes, alright, fine. Lashley goes on the outside. Seth is in the corner going, burn it down. Burn it down. He chucks, Bobby Lashley goes to chuck, Bobby Lashley chucks Lesnar into the ring. He's on all fours. Seth Rollins goes to the stop, gets caught with an F5. Wham! Bang! 1, 2, 3. He has pinned Seth Rollins. He is out of there. While he's doing that, he turns round, gets hit with a cane because somehow, some way, MVP has somehow managed to get into the ring because of the elimination from, AJ Styles, or the last person before that, I think which I said was AJ Styles. And the crowd are going, Brock Lesnar no-sells it, turns round, hits an F5 or a German suplex onto MVP. But, of course, MVP has also slid in a steel chair to Bobby Lashley before this. And Bobby Lashley goes to town to Brock Lesnar with a steel chair. Then, gets the Hurt Lock locked in, but, Brock Lesnar fades away, but he relinquishes it as he's faded away. He's like, I know I'm gonna have to do more to do this to take out Brock. So he then waits for Brock to get back up, spears him. 1, 2, 3. That is it. Still the WWE Champion, Bobby Lashley. That is my whole big bold prediction to what I think will happen. But in more reality, it will be Brock Lesnar dominating the entire thing and will walk out WWE Champion. So yeah, that's my predictions for Elimination Chamber. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will watch the Elimination Chamber tomorrow. And until next time, for more predictions and for the actual review of Elimination Chamber itself, I'm Danrvdtree2000, also known as Danrvdtree2000 on Xbox Live, and until next time, goodbye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to watch the previous video, click on the video on the left. But if you want to watch the playlist, then click on the video on the right. Also, feel free to click subscribe by clicking on the Master Chief icon on the top.